I got the alligators out. I have the alligators out today, so they are not playing, they are protecting. And if you try to play with me, they will play with you for me. Okay? Okay. How you doing today? I hope you guys are having the most wonderfulest day. Without further ado, y'all, you're gonna get your confirmations through me to my newcomers. Confirmations through songs, through tarot, through story times, through everything, to my family members. Y'all ready for the story? Let's go. Once upon a time, Charlie back in the day, she found herself getting out of a relationship. How you doing, Pure? I was as pure as could be. My destiny was definitely at play. How you doing, baby? Charlie had been in a relationship, had just got out of a real bad relationship. Somebody I loved deeply. Real bad. True story. And I'm gonna tell y'all why I'm telling y'all this story. Because the answer said I gotta inspire your little ass. So Nana Baruco says, hi. You love my nails? Thank you. Appreciate it. Okay, let me be serious though real quick. So I had got out of a relationship. I was single for about 6 months. Now don't get me wrong. Just because I was single for these 6 months, I very much kind of had like a little, I'm not gonna say vengeful. I still kind of wanted my ex back. I ain't even gonna lie. But it wasn't in the cards. Ancestors said it was time to move on. Let's fast forward. I met people in person. I met some people online too. But there was this one particular guy. There's one particular guy that I had met online. Specifically on Twitter. Hi, Super Galaxy. And I don't know why it was him. I don't know why it was him. Hi, Sana. I don't know why it was him. But it was him. That man was 6'3", because let me paint a picture for you. He had dimples. He had dreads. He was a little darker than me, but he wasn't like dark skin. He wasn't too dark. And he just had the most beautifulest eyes to me. Like, and I was just like, you the one, not the 2 or the 3 or the 4 or the 5. So Charlie shot her shot on Twitter. The reason why I'm telling you this story is because, guys, you can find love online. Now, this was on Twitter. If it's on Twitter, then it's on Twitter, alright? But symbolism of it is that I shot my shot, like just flirting. Just, you know, they say shoot. It's like Duke Dennis whistle. Like, this is a time where you probably need to shoot your shot right now. Okay. But even if you don't know if they single or not, because if they single and they bite, then baby, you might fuck around and meet the rest of your life right now. Georgia, what is you doing? Y'all want a Georgia break real quick? Hold on. I just want to show y'all real quick. Y'all see her? I've been doing this thing called Georgia breaks, because let me tell you, sometimes she be funny, y'all. She be so funny. She going back to sleep, y'all. She going back to sleep. So, let's fast forward. So, met him on Twitter. I think I had said like, said some, I don't even think I think I said something smart. Like, you trying to be, what the fuck? I remember what I said to him. Hold on. Do you want to be, I was like, you looking like my future ex-boyfriend or some shit like that. He was like, shit, I'm trying to be the one. What's up with you? I'm trying to be the one right now. He said, yeah. At first, we kept it on the timeline. And then I think he ended up DMing me. And it switched to DMs. And y'all, from there, we just sent like flirty banters back to back. And like, I was feeling his energy. He was the first person after like my breakup where I was like, and he probably didn't know this, but now you know. He was the first person that really made me feel like, damn, I could really move on from my ex. He was the first person that made me feel like, because don't get me wrong, Charlie pulled people. At that time, I had the sugar daddies on me. I had about 2 of them back then. I had this one guy, he was getting ready to go to college and he was playing college ball. Who else? There was another one that worked at a college. Like, I had people, but he was the one that like was like, I like him. I like him. And sometimes, guys, that's all that matters, is that if you like him, you like him. Hi, Kira. Let's keep on. So, and did I mention he is long distance? Hi, Blue. Good afternoon, baby. He was long distance. I, at that time, was living in Denver. He was living in Ohio. Okay? Starting there. So, I don't know why I'm hearing shoot. The whole big part of the story, y'all, if you find somebody, shoot your shot with that person. Okay? Now, let's keep going. Me and him, we talked for about a few months. We went from DMing to being on FaceTime all the time. Like, we was always on FaceTime, always on the phone. Like, we fell asleep on the phone. We would talk, like, even when he was with his friends, like he made me feel so comfortable that, like, even though we was long distance, I know for a fact that man never cheated on me. I know for a fact, never cheated on me. Never. How do you know, Charlie? Because my gut intuition knew I was with a cheater before his ass. I didn't have all the antennas, spidey senses to know if he was a fucking cheater. Baby, I didn't have not one lick of cheating. He never gave me that impression. Start there. 2, he made me feel safe. Y'all, I had came out of a really bad relationship with abuse, manipulation, narcissism. Baby, he had kids, like Maurice, and like, it's almost as though like this was person, he didn't, my person, he didn't have no kids, like he didn't have nothing wrong with him. Like, everybody has shit wrong with him, but he was like a breath of fresh air. That's how you clock who your new person is. Are they a breath of fresh air? He was like a breath of fresh air, and I hadn't even met him in person yet. So I remember at that time, guys, I was working for the government then, and I remember I was like, well, I want to fly out there, because fuck it. Like, shoot. Like, we've been on FaceTime. We've been over here doing it. Like, I want to come out there. And he wouldn't let me come out there, y'all. He would not let me come out there for nothing. So at this point, like, I'm like, I know he don't got no secret family because I be on FaceTime with him 24/8. But it's like, what was it? And I'm going to tell y'all what it was, y'all. And this is just observations. It was because at that time, he was living with his grandma. And he wasn't proud of where he was living. Like, he didn't want me to be there. Like, and that's the most truthfulest answer that I could give. And this is when Charlie says, this is where Charlie says it's not about the money. This one, yeah. Y'all can't say it's about the money with this one. Because, yeah. But point of the matter is that was the first thing. And then the second thing is that, like, he wanted to save enough money so we could do all the excursions that we did when I went out there. Now, he wasn't telling me this because he was a little too embarrassed. But I was just like, I want to come, you my man, and that's it. So, Charlie, I think a month had flew by, guys. I kid y'all not. I think a month flew by. And I was just like, well, I'm coming regardless. I don't care if you stopping me or not. And he was just like, okay, Charlie. And I remember he told me, like, he used to be a very shoe fanatic. And I remember, like, to save more money, like, he started selling his shoes. Like, and I was like, and he didn't tell me this at this time. He told me this after, like, maybe, like, years later. But I was like, I think back to that shit, and I'd be like, he really fucking loved me. Because you selling what you love, and he's a shoe fanatic. Like, you selling your shoes for me to come out there? Like, you know what? Yeah. So let's keep going. And y'all, mind y'all, at this time, y'all, I was 19 years old. So that could be very symbolic. So when I went out there, we ended up staying in a hotel that was a little bit further out from like where he lived. Like, and it was in a nice area. It was decent. And I remember that, let's fast forward a little bit. We did a lot of different excursions. I was only supposed to be out there for a week, y'all. I ended up staying for 2 weeks. Let me tell you why. We went to Kosai, because I'm just going to give you the different date ideas, because maybe y'all need some inspiration when it comes to date ideas. We went to Kosai, which was like a science museum. And that was hella cool. Like, because I'm a museum girly. Art, science, music, history. Take me to somewhere I can learn. We went there. We also, what was I about to say? The cenote. Babe, do we need to go? No, I'm just kidding, because he's an ex. But we went to this thing that looked like a cenote. And if you guys never been to Mexico, what would I compare it to? It's like a big ass, it's like a cave, but it's not a cave. And it has like a big open with like a waterfall hanging down. That's how I can explain it, because I can't just think. It's like but it's a monumental place. We went hiking. We seen that. What else did we do? We ate. He took me to like breakfast places and stuff like that. He took me to like a lot of black owned places, which was really nice. What else did we do? I know we did something else. We went to what the fuck is that place called? It was like an amusement ride place. We didn't go to the amusement ride that time, but we went to like a waterworks place. But it wasn't waterworks. I can't think of what the name is, but we did like a whole bunch of just fun stuff together within this week, y'all. I kid you not. And I remember like I was meeting the mother of his brother's kids, and I remember I hung out with her by myself. And I remember as I was drinking, I was 19 at that time, so I wasn't drinking anything. But I remember when we went out to this Mexican restaurant, and I remember thinking to myself, like, before we went to the Mexican restaurant, we were at one of her people's places. I remember thinking to myself, like, Charlie, if this is going to work, you're going to have to move here. First trip out. And I said, damn, Charlie. I think back to that shit and I'd be like, Charlie, how the fuck did you know? Like, how did you? Because I'd be like, that's a big jump. Like, and I had been knowing him for like 4 months, 5 months, maybe 6 months at that time, but it was just like, it just made sense. Like, if this is gonna work, then yeah, you need to be here. And I remember I ended up extending my stay. And it's funny, this is how I feel like God at the time told me I was supposed to stay. On my plane ticket that I was supposed to go home to, I ended up missing that flight. I've never missed a flight in my life up to that point. I flew all the time. I never missed a flight. I missed that flight. And I said, well, maybe I'm supposed to stay here. But I realized, realistically, I have to line my stuff up if I'm going to move out here, right? So I ended up having to rebuy a whole another plane ticket. And I got home. And so when I made it back home, guys, I remember I told him, I was like, I think I'm about to really, I remember I was like, I'm going to move here. And hi, Stinkabutch. You're going to have to wait. Yeah, you're going to have to wait. I'm almost done with story time and then I take you out straight. Yes. That feels so good. Yes. She is so spoiled by me. Pick up your head. So I remember I made it back home and I remember thinking like, and I was at a state, y'all, where I was like, either I'm about to go and get my own apartment here in Denver. Because at that time, y'all, I was paying off so much debt at that time. Like, I was just like, pay this shit off. I had just bought my brand new car that year. And I remember like, I was just like, okay, the next step is to get an apartment. Do you want to be here in Denver? Where you want to go? Charlie was like, shoot. So somehow, y'all, take a moment to go where your heart desires. Go where your heart takes you. So, the next thing that I did, guys, I was just like, well, fuck it. I have a job I can transfer. And I was just like, well, the only thing I need is an apartment. I've had an apartment before. So, y'all, I made a list of like 10 different places that I wanted to live. And that was going to be my big girl apartment. Like, and it was, in a sense, it was, because I lived in one of the best neighborhoods out in Ohio. Like, and I remember, like, I was just like, fuck it. And I remember, I think he thought I was playing. I was so serious, y'all. Like, I was dead ass. Hi, Cece. I was dead ass serious. Like, I made a list of apartments, and I think not that following week, maybe like 2 weeks later, maybe not even, yeah, it had to be like 2 weeks later, I flew back out there. We went to go look at places. There were certain places that were weren't open, or like it wasn't like, or the leasing agent was leasing to another person. So I just kind of took that as a sign, like God was like, it's not those places. We went to look at my previous apartment, or not my previous apartment, because I've lived other places, but at that time, we looked at one, and I really liked that one. That one was like in New Albany, and I remember I was like, okay, I like this one, but I wanted to look at one that was in Dublin. And I was just like, you know what? And my ex at that time was the one that actually decided on our apartment. And at first, when I moved out there, like, it was just my apartment, and I was just like, but I don't want to be out here by myself. Like, come. And he was so hesitant. Like, he was so hesitant to be like, he was so hesitant to what is it called, like, to move in, because this was his first, I feel like I was his first real girlfriend. He had a girlfriend prior, however, he never lived with somebody. And so after I convinced him to move in, like, and I'm fast forwarding way too much, hold on, because that's, y'all, I fast forward way too much. Let me back up a little bit. He was like, I really like this one. And I was like, I really like this one too. I'm the type of person, I want to pick the best option. So he's the one that chose it. Y'all, that next day, I went, signed for the apartment, or went to apply for the apartment. Did not even know if my transfer had went in through my job yet. And y'all, honestly, like, by the grace of God, like, I have my paycheck stubs from Denver, but I didn't have it from Ohio. And they're just like, all we need is an opening letter for you. So, and I was just like, okay. All it took, y'all, realistically, I said 2 weeks, it was 3 weeks. It was like a month and a week to get moved. And when I tell y'all that's how God moves. If God says take your ass up and take a fucking leap, y'all, because I took a leap, a real big leap, but I knew that it was okay, because I got my apartment, got approved for my apartment, got I got my job like almost like maybe 2 weeks later, and all my stuff, all I had was like my clothes. I packed up all my clothes in my car. I didn't have anything big anymore. And I was just like, my mama drove with me 17 hours to Ohio. And everybody thought that I was crazy, guys. Everybody at that time thought that I was like insane. And everybody kept saying, Ohio, why are you going to Ohio? And I was just like, because and there were some people I told, some people I didn't. But yeah, I was grown at that time. I was paying my own bills at that time. Who gonna tell me no? Like, what are you talking about? So I ended up going, and I ended up moving, and it worked out. Like, living with each other wasn't hard. We always paid the bills on time, y'all. We always, like, and with that person, like, we had to literally buy things one at a time. Like, that person, like, I have so much respect for him, and I love him to this day, like, respectfully, because, like, we slept on the floor together, like, or like, it was like a little cot, and then, like, we bought everything one by one. His mom helped bring some stuff out, like, his family helped us and shit like that. Like, we moved in and we didn't have nothing, and it took us a few months for us to really establish things in our apartment. And like, we lived together for almost 2 years, and symbolism of it is that we ain't gonna talk about the sad part about it, but if you are at a place where you are either getting ready to move, you're encouraged. Go. If you are moving across states, you're encouraged. Go. If you're looking to take a leap of faith on a new relationship, you're encouraged. Go. If you're looking to transfer your job to a whole nother state, you're encouraged. Go. And although things didn't work out with me and him, that's okay, because I gained so much life experience for that and from that. Okay? They say shoot, so shoot your shot. Okay? Now, let's get in cards. I'm gonna pull 3 cards for you real quick. You said you're taking a leap of faith and moving in with your best friend. Your best friend or your boyfriend, or both. Risk it, y'all. Y'all see this? Risk it all. They say shoot. Duke Dennis, what's up with you? Aria Lynn. What is that song? I know it's by Glorilla. It might not be time for that. Yeah, highly sensitive in reverse. Yeah, it is not the time to second guess yourself. This is not the time to sit over here and be all up in your emotions. What if this happens? There was not one doubt. Jenny, eat some tacos. Actually, you know what? I'm not really feeling tacos. Jenny, are you a menudo person? I'm not a menudo person, but something about you, maybe, is that racist? No, I'm not racist, because I'm Mexican too. You know, okay, if you're not a menudo person, okay, because real Mexicans, we don't really, some do. I can't even lie. I don't eat menudo, but my family do. Should eat some pork chops. Jenny, should I don't fucking know. I don't know. Eat a salad, a Caesar salad. That's all I got for you today. Today is not the day to be highly sensitive, guys. Enjoy yourself. If you guys are dating, don't take it too serious. If you have an endeavor that you want to take a risk on, this is the time to do it. But if you're going to do something, don't, because y'all, I'm going to keep it a being. From that story, there were so many people that was like, girl, you are crazy. You would afford what? It's very symbolic, y'all. Like, I didn't get pregnant out there. Like, so if you guys are like scared to move in with somebody because you're afraid of getting pregnant and that's not where, like, your path line, like, y'all, me and him, we didn't use protection and I never got pregnant. I think we used protection in the beginning, but never got a disease, never got fucking pregnant, like, and we lived together for 2 years. So that shouldn't be, yeah. But realize, guys, you choosing this path, because they want me to choose one more. You choose it. I chose it. Okay? Something about choosing it. You said God knew what he was doing. Real bad. Yeah. Take charge. If I would sit over here and I waited on my ex to sit over here and say, yeah, we could move in and do all this shit, I would still be in Denver. I would still be in Denver if I was waiting on his ass. If you see somebody that you want, go get them. If you see somebody, if you know somebody, if you feel somebody, if you don't even know, like, if you don't know, but you know, but you don't know, like, with him, it was instinct. It was an instinct thing, if I'm honest, guys. Take charge. I don't know why you the one. And be happy about your decision. Because let me tell you guys, when I got to Ohio, like, I was cool. I met new friends. They was my work friends, but I did meet friends. And let me tell y'all something. Like, I had my man. My man was my friend for a really long time. And you want to know what's funny is because with him, like, I just knew I trusted him. Like, I trusted him then. Throughout the whole relationship, I did. And don't get me wrong, because I did have my faults. And I brought some old baggage into the new shit, you know. I used to, okay? But if I'm being honest, though, like, I didn't have to tell him to, like, I encouraged him to go hang out with his friends. I'm going to keep it a bean. He the one that didn't want to hang out with y'all niggas. was not the one that kept my man home. I'm gonna keep it a being, y'all. Like, I am the, like, when it comes to relationships, because don't get me wrong, there was one relationship where I was really on his ass, like, bring your ass home. But he was a cheater, you know? My man wasn't a cheater, so my new man is not a cheater either. Manifesting that for me. And the point of the matter is that he's not a cheater. So if you want to go out, you can go out with the boys. But most of the time, he just wanted to play the game and just be on chill. I had a really good guy, guys. He was really good. But be open to infinite possibilities, guys. Yeah. And it says spirit has your back. Yeah. In this moment, guys, I do want to sit over here and tell you guys that y'all know how I said, like, I just felt like it was right. If you guys are entering into marriage, if you guys are doing babies, if you guys are moving in together, it's because it's right. Like, if it's hi, you gotta go potty? Okay, let's go potty. If it's right, like, it's right. Dream your dreams into, make them real. It's not time to live in fantasy world no more. Now, if you guys would excuse me, I gotta go take my baby to go use the restroom. So, I love you guys. I will see y'all tomorrow. Y'all see how I've been consistent? I'm so proud of me. What's tomorrow? Thursday? No, I'm gonna get a time for your asses very soon. Alright? The whole point is, y'all, go shoot your shot. Okay? And do everything I would do. Okay? And even if I wouldn't do it, still do it if you feel it in your heart to do it. Okay? And CC, being more present. Yeah. I love you guys. I'll see you next time, okay? And know if I'm not on live, there's a video on my YouTube every single day. Okay?